Well there, hello everyone. Nice to have you with me for another video today. It's been a while, only because I had a bit of a cold. And, well actually I had no voice for a little bit. My voice has somewhat returned, but I feel I'm now in the position where I should be doing commercials for cough medicine. Yes. Anyway, not that long ago, there was a video that I uploaded talking about scooters and how models differ from country to country and how prices could be dramatically different from country to country, and why are they so more difficult to find in the United States. Because there was a chap by the name of Scott who has a channel called Trekopolis, which I'm probably not pronouncing correctly, as it's Trekopolis. We contacted each other back and forth, and we set up a date and time, and we had a bit of a fireside chat. Scott already uploaded the video on his channel, and it took me a little bit longer because I wanted to break it down into different parts. So today we're going to bring you part one of my fireside chat with Scott. In the description box below there is a link to his YouTube channel, and I would suggest you go and check it out. It is quite fun and a lot of good. So here we go. Two American friends of mine that lived here for 20 years, when they moved back to the United States, we were always in touch by email, and both of them, one lives in a place called Okeechobee, Florida. The other lives in some place in New York State. I think it's near the Canadian border. And they both sent me an email, probably within 8 months of each other, saying, "Oh, we finally bought a scooter here." And I was like, well, I'm very surprised. And they told me both the same thing. After 20 years living in Taiwan, they felt that the scooter was just so convenient for them that they kind of missed it when they got back to the US, and they were looking around and they were very surprised at the price differences. And they said a lot of people looked at them crazy because they were traveling like maybe 35, 40, 45 minutes to get to work every day, and sometimes it was raining. They said they just put a raincoat on. Why do you think scooters really haven't caught on? Is it like you said in your video, just geographical?
Yeah, I contemplated this for many years, and before I even bought my scooter, I'm like, those look pretty cool. I never even rode one before I bought mine, to be honest with you. I see them when we go on vacation, like some of the boardwalks here in the States where you go down to like Florida and some of the coastal regions where they got these little scooters you can rent. Big rental market for those, like in warmer climates. See, I live in Ohio, which is kind of in the Midwest, kind of in the middle of the country. So it gets cold. And we only have about 3 or 4 months of like doable weather to ride. So I'm already behind the 8 ball unless I buy heavy winter gear, which I haven't done yet. So, but anyway, I see these scooters, and I always wanted to rent one down there in Florida, right? And just never got around to it. But then when I was researching bikes, I thought it might be, let me try one of these out. Instead of getting a big, heavy, clunky bike that I've had, 3 decades ago, I wanted to try something simple, twist and go, and not really have a lot of complication to it, where I could just get out there and not ride across the country, but, just around the hometown, check out the city and some of the hidden destinations. And that's what I bought it for. It's perfect.
So you're in Ohio. I'm just curious, what is for example, if I step out my door right now, if I go left, there's 3 shops this way. If I turn right, there's another 4 shops, and then around the corner, another 5 shops. They're open 7 nights a week till 10 o'clock at night. What about in Ohio? And what kind of choice do you have? I mean, here we're kind of spoiled for choice. You name it, every scooter shop, unless they specialize in one brand. But the independents will sometimes carry multiple brands, and they'll have maybe 20 or 30 different models from different manufacturers.
Yeah, we have a lot of choices here as far as scooter brands, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or just, yeah, we got, well, the Honda, of course, the Yamaha X-Max and stuff. And there's, of course, you have the all the little step throughs, what you call them. You know, we have a lot of those, but they're very hard to come by. You know, you have different dealerships that have these scooters, but what we found, and I get a lot of comments on this from folks that leave comments on my channel that they've been trying to buy a scooter for a year, and the dealers just can't get them. And I don't know why that is. I think it's supply demand. Like I said in my video, I just don't think the dealerships are. I mean, I think the need is there.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think. I don't know where that gap is. Why they can't get more in the country. I think they might be just limited on supply. The dealerships themselves. Maybe they're just allotted so many a year, and I don't know that answer. But I got very lucky because I was trying to find a PCX 150 for a good year and a half. I could not find one. I mean, they had them around the country, but I didn't want to pay $400, $500 and have it shipped to me. And no dealer does that because of liability. They make you go find your own transportation to ship it to yourself. You know.
Okay.
And I'll just wait. So I waited and waited, and 3 ADV 150s finally popped into the Honda dealership that's 25 minutes down the road. I'm like, yes. So I went down there, and as soon as I saw one in person, I'm like, that's my bike.
Every foreigner that I know that has come and has lived here for either 1 year sometimes, they find that when they go back home, how spoiled they were just because everything is so convenient. For example, for when I have to pay my road tax on my bikes, or renewing my license, or renewing the insurance, I don't go to a bank, I don't go to the insurance companies, I go to 7-Eleven.
Really?
They have the machines,
Yeah.
you just do everything there in the machine and it's all done.
Yeah, we have to go to the BMB, they call it,
Yeah.
Euromotive, and wait in line. It's gotten better, but nobody likes to go to the BMB. I mean, you just wait for a long time, and you have to drive there. So everything's done at one central. Yeah, we don't have the convenience factor like that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice, where you can. A lot of stuff though, we're moving online, so I can renew my license, my tags. I can just go onto the BMB website and actually do that now, which is nice. So they're making improvements.
In the state that you're in, do you have to do annual, what they call them, environmental inspections of the bike?
No, we used to have to do that with vehicles, the emission type stuff.
Right.
That was years ago, and it was kind of just a short-lived thing where it might have been. This was like 30 years ago. I remember having to do the emissions test and stuff, where somebody looks in your hood, make sure you have all the emissions stuff in there, but not anymore. They just disassembled that for some reason. Now they don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason. I don't know why, but yeah.
Here it's something they do. So if you have a new bike, you don't have to do it for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
After 10 years, you have to do it once a year. If the bike or car is over 20 years old, you have to do it twice a year.
Like emission stuff?
Emission stuff. But I mean, I have one bike that I have to do it on twice a year. It's an old BMW. But from when I show up at the testing center to when I leave, it's like 15-20 minutes. You drive in, you hand them your registration and license at the beginning, you do each step, at the end they hand it back to you and you go, and that's it.
Yeah,
but they're a little bit funny on on modifications. They really don't like when you modify bikes. So if you have a bike or car that you've painted and you sell it, they're going to fine you because you didn't register the new color.
Wow.
If you put an exhaust on that isn't stock to the bike, when it comes time to sell it, you have to put the original stock one on the bike to be able to transfer it over. Otherwise, they give you they test things like the strength of the lights. So LED lights have to meet a certain requirement. They can't go above a certain illumination.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they're very finicky on that. I mean, that here in Taiwan, one of the reasons why, especially imported bikes, are very expensive. If you're a big manufacturer like Honda and Yamaha, and you're just importing big lots of them, that's different. But when you're an independent dealer, sourcing them from different places, you physically have to get that bike tested for practically everything, which could take 3 to 4 months before you can sell it.
Yeah,
And they're very sort of Japanese on their approach, meaning that every I has to be dotted, every T has to be crossed, and if there's one mistake along the process, they say you have to start all over again.
I don't know if it's just more because it's a smaller country. Of course, Taiwan could fit inside of Florida here and still fit. And so it's probably a lot easier to control that type of situation than just every state in a big giant land like US trying to control those things. It would be a nightmare, I believe. So that's maybe why they do it.
Right.
And you have the pollution here is not too bad, but I think they could do a better job with emissions. And you see these big trucks going down the road that are just billowing this black smoke out purposely. You'd think there would be laws against that, but none of that stuff's enforced at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now people are getting the bright lights for the LEDs for their vehicles. Again, I don't know if cops will pull you over or not, but they're blinding me now.